The new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta just dropped. Did y'all tune in? Because I did. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Sophiejo Show. It's the Sophiejo, hey, the Sophiejo Show. Yeah, we are back. This is, I think, episode 10 of the Sophiejo Show. Happy to be here. We have a great show planned out for tonight. Yeah, it is nighttime when I'm filming this. Usually I film in the daytime, but whatever. We're going to be talking about the new season. I think this is season 17 of Housewives of Atlanta. I have a couple of opinions. We are also getting into Pooh and his lack of good decisions, okay, and just a topic of conversation that I'm excited to talk about. And also we're going to be wrapping it up with, of course, Sophie said it first, huh? So make sure y'all stay until the end. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the Sophiejo. All right, let's get into it. So over the weekend, rapper Pooh has been caught up in more legal drama. Now, I wanted to talk about this, not necessarily to talk about him or the Gucci Mane of it all, but just a conversation that is stemming from this whole thing. So, like I said, Pooh who was not even too long ago released from prison or jail, wherever he was at, for doing some stuff he had no business doing. By the grace of God, he got let out with an ankle monitor on, and he decided to engage in, illegal activity. And I don't know how the hell Gucci Mane got kidnapped, and don't nobody, we never knew Gucci Mane was kidnapped. You mean to tell me Pooh Shiesty's the one who kidnapped you? That whole story just had all of us like, what the heck? So anyways, what I wanted to talk about, not only Pooh Shiesty and Gucci. Back when Pooh Shiesty was first released from prison, I think he was kind of hanging out with Ben, the Don, the streamer. And I made a comment under someone's video. They were talking about Pooh Shiesty, and I commented with that mind. Oh no, I said, his mindset hasn't changed at all. I hate to say it, he's going to be probably right back in the slammer. And that he did. Am I trying to speak ill will about this man, especially a black man? Absolutely not. But I could just tell from his whole demeanor, nothing had changed. When you go to prison for doing something illegal, and then you are able to get out on bond, whatever it's called, I don't even know the terminology. But when you're able to get out, luckily, why would you continue to do the same street illegal activity? And then you got an ankle monitor on. Make it make sense. I don't know what it is about, and I'm only speaking on black people because I'm black. I commune and I fellowship with fellow blacks. Anybody's welcome, but like, I don't want this to come across as, well, you're not talking about the bad things that white people do, or you're not talking about the bad things that Asian people do. I can only speak from a black experience because I'm black, okay? So with that being said, I don't know what it is with us in our community and this whole, we have to prove that we are tough, we are street, we have street cred. If you ain't come from the struggle, you're not real. If you had it quote unquote easy growing up, you're unrelatable. You're lame. You're a loser. You're a nerd. If you didn't have to get it out the mud, and even if you did get it out the mud, you got to upkeep that street cred and just make it seem like you're this bad guy. I don't know what that's about with our community, but I really want us to get over it. I blame the 80s crack epidemic. That's what I blame, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother subject, and we will get into that subject one day. But Pooh Shiesty being arrested, sentenced to however many months or years he did, and then getting out, going right back in, like, a few months later for similar illegal street activity is just an example of how a lot of our young black men are caught up in that crazy brainwashed mentality of, I gotta sell some stuff, kill some folks, rob some people, do strange things for a piece of change in order to upkeep my reputation of being tough, being untouchable. have to upkeep this image, and all that leads you right back into that prison system, that enslaved system, because that's what it is really slavery, for real, for real. They treat y'all like dirt. Why would you want to go back in there just to prove to people who don't even care about you that you are tough and bad and quote unquote cool? We have to get better as a people. When I saw that whole situation with Pooh, Shiesty, and Gucci, that's all I thought about was, wow, we are still stuck in that mentality. Not all of us, but a lot of us, especially our young black men. That also made me think about, I saw an interview, I think with Mike Epps like a while ago. He was saying like, why is it that we, me and you, when our family members get out of prison for doing something they weren't supposed to be doing, okay? Why is it that when they get out of prison, we congratulate them, and then when they go in, we're sad? I mean, of course we're sad because we probably ain't gonna see you for a good minute. But if we're just being realistic, most of the times, don't get me wrong. Now, I know there are so many people who are wrongfully convicted and in prison for 45 years for a weed charge. They just got caught up and lost in the system. Trust me, I'm not ignorant to that fact, okay? But a lot of our people are in prison and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe he's going to prison for 30 years for murdering and robbing somebody. Huh? Are you listening to yourself? You sad because you hate that he got caught, or that you probably won't be seeing him or her in a long time. But in reality, they did the crime. They gonna do the time. That's just the world. It's just the country that we live in. And like I said, I know a lot of us are wrongfully convicted. So that's not what I'm saying. But I want us to not be so oblivious to the fact that if you do something crazy, you out here robbing people, you trying to take people's things that they've worked hard for all their life, they've been working their fingers and bones off to finally have something that they value, they see value in it. You just think you finna break in somebody's house and take it and then try to kill them or tie them up and think you don't deserve to get no time for it? You need to stop being lazy and trying to get stuff the quick way. You need to go get a job so you can earn whatever it is you're trying to steal from other people. And don't get me started on the whole drug selling thing. I won't get into that right now. But we put money on our people's books when they in prison. But are we sending money to our family members who are in college who might need money for books? Huh? Are we doing that? Are we showing that same support for our family members or friends who are actually trying to do something with their lives? The same way we are giving money to some of our family members who we know they deserve to be in prison because they did some crazy stuff and they're just paying the cost of what they did? Are we showing that same support? When they get out of prison and we having a coming home party, are we having a graduation party for our other members? We need to do some reevaluating in the community. And I don't want this, once again, to come off as judgmental, because I come from a, how do I put this? Diverse family. Okay. So, I have people who did some stuff. I got people who doing some great things, people who paid the time for the things that they've done. I have people who have moved, you know what I'm saying? But I think we need to shift the mindset. And I now don't get me wrong, because I know, especially, in this day and age, Black people, a lot of us are doing very well for ourselves. Very just well-rounded human beings out here. And college definitely isn't, the answer for everything, because there's well-educated Black people out here, people who didn't go to college but very smart, have great businesses, great entrepreneurs, talented people. So I think we are we're progressing pretty well. But it's just sometimes when I see a case like the Pooh, Shiesty, and the Gucci of it all, like, first off, Pooh, Shiesty, you was blessed enough to find a way to escape the life you was living through music. You was blessed with enough talent to change your life and people around you lives through music, but you still choose to engage in street-like behavior. Why? Brainwashed. Gotta get up out of there. Gotta get up out of there. Let's switch gears and get into what I know y'all came here for, because so did I. Housewives. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17 is back. I watched the first episode, and let's get into some of the things pointed out. First off, I want to start by saying I miss old Housewives, and I don't know if we'll ever get it back. And you know, maybe it is the reason why it's hard for me to really, really, really enjoy the new, like last season and this season, you know, because I miss just the original casting of it all. But I'm still going to watch because I love Housewives, period. So I'm still going to watch, but I am missing the older. And me and my friend was just texting talking about this. I think that's why Married to Medicine has such a strong fan base. It's because they, for the most part, keep the core cast members being the same. Like, we've had Jackie from the jump, Toya, Simone, Quad, Heavenly kind of low-key from the jump. Contessa has been there for a minute. And then they add people on here and there. But for the most part, besides Mariah, we have the core people. So we have really grown a relationship with these people. And that's why we're so invested in the show. Versus Atlanta Housewives, for the last couple of seasons, there's been so many shakeups with the cast. It's new people every season. It's 5 new people every couple months. I can't even fully get invested into, let's just say, Kelly, for example, because she will be gone the next season. Now I have to relearn someone else. Like, I don't know what's going on in Atlanta, but I just wish that, you know, if they're going to completely redo it, then just completely redo it. And with that being said, I love Cynthia and I like watching Cynthia on reality TV, but I just feel like her being on this season and last season of Housewives, it just looks like she's just kind of awkwardly out of place. Like, it looks like they're trying to include her in the conversation. And I know she's just a friend of, but because everybody else is fairly new besides Portia. Is that right? Wow, everyone is pretty much new besides Portia. Well, they've just brought back Phaedra, and then everyone's kind of sort of in the same age bracket except for Cynthia and Phaedra. But even Phaedra, you know, since she's rebranded herself from Southern Belle to, like, I don't know, Instagram baddie, she's kind of gelling in with the clique. And Cynthia just looks like kind of like a chaperone to me. And I love Cynthia down, but if they're gonna redo Housewives, and completely redo it and take Cynthia away, take Phaedra away, you know, that's not what I want. In a perfect world, I would have Cynthia, Nene, Sheree. I would keep Angela Oakley, Portia, maybe Phaedra. I would do Kim Zolciak. But anyways, let's get into the new season. So it started, they showed Kelly in her short self sending her daughter off to college, to Spelman, and Shamia giving her a gift basket, which was nice in like an auntie way, but it was also kind of weird. It was also because her mom is right there. So she had like condoms in the basket. Ain't no telling what else she had in that basket to give to her. So, but also, like, I know this is TV, so they're doing things to have us talk about it, and things that's going to be like, you know, what they used to call in radio, shock jock moments. Yes, your girl has a little bit of a journalism background. Of course, everyone is excited to talk about and to see K. Michelle back on our TV screens, because K. Michelle is great reality TV. I watched her at Marriage Boot Camp. I watched her on Queen's Court, Love and Hip Hop, her own show. And I like her music. And if she didn't disappoint at all in her first episode. She is funny. She has that country twang to her voice. And she will give you, you know, some shade as well. So I'm happy to know that her and her longtime boyfriend, the dentist, I forgot his name. I'm happy that they did get married, because I know they were like on and off for years. And so at least finally we actually have someone who is married on Housewives of Atlanta, you know, because everybody makes a joke about how all the Bravo housewives are not wives anymore. They're all divorced and single. So at least we have K. Michelle, who is married. Okay, she could have low key, K. Michelle could have went on Married to Medicine since her husband is a dentist. How crazy would that have been? That might have been interesting to see her on Married to Medicine, my love. And so K. Michelle talked about to Portia how Atlanta was kind of like the mean girls city for her. And I can totally understand that. Y'all remember that whole thing with Rashida not believing K. Michelle was beat up by Toya's ex-husband. And then it came out that basically, you know, she was telling the truth and nobody believed her. They tried to run her out of Atlanta. And when she came on Housewives tonight, she basically was saying, I am vindicated. I don't really have too much to say about Shamea. I love the look she's given in her confessional so far. All I have to say is her house is fab. Love her house, especially when she gave us like an in-depth tour last season. Yeah. So I hope that Shamea and Portia can mend their friendship, because it's like I think they have been friends for like 20 years. And it's like, as soon as Shamea got on TV and the cameras went up, reality TV interjected into their relationship. The relationship dissolved. So I hope they can work it out. So Portia has a couples party, and of course everybody has all the jokes and the shade in the world about her having a party with, you know, her date or her boyfriend in Simon's house, but really it's their house, but now it's Portia's house. But they were just, especially Kelly and Shamea, they were dragging it all night about how she got this man up in this other man's house. I don't know. I think Portia won the house or won the case or whatever. So it is her house. But she has this couples night and the house looked fab. Portia looked great. Everyone really looked good, to be honest. I don't know why Shamea or Phaedra was trying to like shade Shamea's body. Shamea looked great. They said that she got some work done. If she did, she looks great. And they didn't say she looked bad, but I thought Shamea always looked like that. I didn't know. Hell, I don't know. If I had the money, I'd get my body done too. Suck it out. Okay, they also introduced the new cast member Pinky Cole to us, who we know the founder or creator or whatever of Slutty Vegan. I don't really have too much of an opinion about Pinky Cole. This is going to sound biased, but I saw that Pinky is a Trumpster, a MAGA mammy, a MAGA mommy. Ever since I found that out, I don't even care to try to get to know her. So I felt like she was cool on the show a little bit, but I felt like she was kind of trying a little bit too hard to be funny, like loud and funny and boisterous. But yeah, I don't really have too much of an opinion on Miss MAGA, if that's what she is. But I don't think Phaedra is still, again, going to have much of a storyline, because Phaedra is not one to share a lot. Even if she has stuff going on, she's not really going to share it with the camera in the world, to be completely honest. So, I'm curious to see what Phaedra's package will be this season. I think Angela Oakley was a great addition to the cast. Her and Charles Oakley, him and all his little side commentary at Portia's dinner, loved it. I love funny men. People who can make me laugh, love it. So, I think they were a great addition to the cast, and they are married, so it makes sense. We saw Portia and her boyfriend, but we know how that's gonna play out, because right now we know Portia is dating a lady, a woman. So curious to see how that goes. But that's really pretty much, for the most part, all we got on episode 1 of the new season of Housewives of Atlanta. Make sure y'all tune in on my show, because I will be talking about this season. Since we're here, I just want to explain why this perfect cast would work. Hear me out, okay? Nene can talk about life after Greg, also dating, I think her boyfriend's name is Yanni. And, you know, her son has kind of like health issues. And then her other son is going through things. Not sure if she would want to open up that much to us, but she's got some stuff going on. Sheree, I don't know. I've always liked Sheree. Bring Sheree back. But we could really make it juicy and messy to bring Sheree and newbie Angela Oakley, because Charles Oakley used to date Sheree. That's old and done with, but it would, y'all know how TV works. They would stir up some mess. It would be overly produced, and it would just be good TV. So far we have Nene, Sheree, and Angela Oakley. I say bring Kenya, because Kenya is great TV, and I'm not sure what we will talk about with Kenya, but she's great TV. Portia, because she's just the life of the party, and we need that energy. Cynthia can come back. I think Cynthia works well in a setting with a Nene, a Kenya, but her with this new group of girls is giving chaperone. Let's bring Phaedra, can be a friend of, okay? Who else? Kim Zolciak, because we know there's a history with Kim Zolciak and all these ladies, and also Kim is going through a ton of stuff that would be great to be filmed and put on TV. Y'all know about the divorce and her losing custody of the kids and all that messy drama. Great TV. Perfect cast. Am I missing somebody? Angela would be the only new girl. Shamia, maybe Shamia could stay because she does have a rapport with all the ladies, because she's been around here and there throughout the years. And we could also see her and Portia's relationship either get better or get worse. So perfect cast. Bravo. Call me if you need someone to talk to. Call me, satisfaction guaranteed. Call me. Let's get into the last segment of the show. Once again, make sure y'all are subscribed with Sophie Said It First. In my book of quotes, where I just flip through and pick a quote and we do what we gotta do. Ooh, this is a quote I just flipped to. It says, "It is never too late to be what you might have been." Wait a second. Hold on. Let me reread it so I can, It is never too late to be what you might have been. Ooh. I think I know what that means. It means it's never too late to pursue or try to become what you always wanted to be. For me, my whole life, not whole life, but a lot of my life, I always wanted to be a talk show host or like a radio personality, TV personality, a magazine writer, something in that space. And I've for years, I've tried on and off, do a podcast, don't do a podcast, do a show, don't do a show. But I've never been really consistent. But it's never too late to try to be what you may have become. What if I would have stuck to it 5 years ago and I would have been what I really wanted to be, which was a talk show host? So it's never too late is what that quote is saying. So I'm telling you out there, make sure if there's something, this was from Tabitha Brown. God put it on your heart for a reason. If it's something you can't stop thinking about and it's just on your spirit all the time, pursue it. Go for it. Because what if it all works out? How cliche was that? But what if it does? Y'all, we are wrapping it up. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Sophiejo Show. Make sure y'all are subscribed. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Sophiejo. And I'll see y'all in my next episode.